Hello, and welcome to today's webinar. Is GPS fleet tracking right for your landscaping business? This webinar is brought to you by our sponsor, GPS Insight. I'm Kelly Limpert from North Coast Media, and I will be your event manager today. Before we begin, I'm going to go over some ways that you can participate during today's presentation. Although you are currently in a listen-only mode, we encourage you to ask questions throughout the presentation. Just type in the Q&A box at the bottom left, then click Submit to place your question in queue. You can also submit questions via Twitter by using the hashtag GPSInsightWebinar. Questions that were submitted during registration have already been sent out to our speakers and may be answered in this webinar. If you experience any technical difficulties during today's event, use the same text box at the bottom left to tell us about your issue, and assistant producer Joelle Harms or I will personally assist you. Finally, a recording of this webinar will be available tomorrow afternoon at landscapemanagement.net/webinars. A link to the on-demand recording will also be emailed to you when it is available. If you have colleagues who couldn't make it today and you would like to share this webinar with them, you can do so at any time via the social media links on the left of your screen. Now, I'd like to pass today's event over to our moderator, Landscape Management Editor-in-Chief, Marissa Palmieri.
Thank you, Kelly, and thanks to our sponsor, GPS Insight, for making this event happen. I'd like to introduce our speakers. First up is Evan Korn. He is a top-tier sales executive at GPS Insight with extensive experience in GPS tracking and has helped numerous landscape businesses deploy the technology in their fleet operations. Along with his extensive background in GPS tracking, Evan also uses his previous experience in the construction industry as a tradesman, general contractor, and owner to help other fleet owners make the right choice when selecting a GPS tracking partner. And then we'll also hear from Nolan Butterfras, owner of Texas Turf Management, which he started in 2000 and runs with his wife Shannon and his brother Neil. Nolan has a Bachelor's of Science in Agriculture from Texas A&M and is licensed in irrigation and backflow. And with that, I will turn it over to Evan to get started.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Evan. First, let me say thank you for attending today. We have some important information to share with you, and we appreciate your time. Everybody's very busy. And so to take time out of your day to come and listen and view this webinar, we appreciate that. And we're going to make it worth your while. We'll offer some insightful, some informative information. And at the end, we'll offer a challenge. So today's agenda for GPS tracking, we're going to identify the opportunities for you. We're going to look at the criteria involved in selecting a GPS tracking system. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to help you choose the right solution. And Nolan is going to help us. We're going to talk about his company, Texas Turf Management, and how GPS tracking has really benefited him, how it has really helped him. So we're going to start with a couple of simple poll questions. Real easy. We'd like to keep you involved. And the questions are as follows. Here's the first one. Do you think this one's possible? Really, do you think your crews are completing as many jobs per day as possible? Simply put, do you think maybe they could get another job or two in the day? And let's move on. Let's see these results. No, 100% no. So we're going to look at the efficiency and the tools that we have to do that. Okay, the next question. It's a good one. Do you hold your employees accountable? If you could be a passenger in your car, if you could ride shotgun, do you think your drivers would behave a little bit differently? Do you think they'd be responsible for themselves in a different manner? Let's find out. Okay, simple answer. Again, the 100% mark. There are ways to watch our drivers. We have tools to put in place to assist them in doing their job a little bit more efficiently and assist us in managing them a little bit better. We have responsibilities to coach them and guide them through their day as well. And let's look at our last question. Costs of your fleet. Costs of your fleet. Do you really understand the breakdown, the ownership costs of your fleet? Whether it's maintenance, whether it's service, but your whole fleet, do you understand it? Let's look. So I would expect this. We're running a business, so we're going to say yes in a lot of cases. I appreciate the no's because there are costs built in that we're just not following, whether it's idling reduction or speed reduction. There are ways to monitor and track our costs and really gain some control. So those are great questions. That brings us to the presentation. Identifying the opportunities. Let's talk about that. Webster has a good definition. What is an opportunity? Opportunity, by definition, a good chance for advancement or progress. I do think that's something we're all looking for, an opportunity to advance, a chance to grow. But really, we have to be efficient. If we have 10 vehicles that can do 5 jobs in one day, maybe we can get that one more job out of that vehicle. In what areas can your business improve? Productivity. We can begin to estimate how long jobs are taking. We can start to be proactive in planning the day, adding those extra jobs. Maybe it's going to be route efficiency. We'll study how long our guys are on the job site. But the important part is, for productivity, you do need a GPS provider that's going to give you the fantastic information, the accurate information you need to do the math correctly. You need to properly add jobs. In addition, we're going to talk about the cost controls. We can be proactive with our maintenance. We can be proactive with our service. Monitor our fleets. As the fleet usage grows, we're going to have more and more vehicles, whether it's emissions controls testing, maintenance, oil changes. We're going to monitor and track the costs and the timeliness associated, and we move into preventative maintenance rather than emergency reactionary maintenance. So we have Nolan Butterfras with us, and we're going to talk with Nolan. This is really exciting because Nolan and I get to do something today with you all. We're going to share stories. We're going to tell you how GPS tracking, how GPS Insight has really helped Nolan's business directly. And maybe through those stories, you'll be able to relate and improve your own business a little bit. So Nolan's been working with the maintenance tracking. We spoke of that just a minute ago. So Nolan, I'd like to ask you here, really, how has maintenance tracking worked for you? What methods of the tracking have you put in place?
Well, Evan, we used to run our vehicles, and I had to do this on Saturdays or Sundays and run them to the local quick lube that we have here in Houston and change the oils and do all your general maintenance, not your major repairs, just your maintenance. And now with the GPS, we have brought this back in-house, and we are doing it during the regular work week. So there's no overtime from guys having to run vehicles or anything like that. And we're just putting it into the maintenance records in the GPS Insight website. And when the vehicle is due, it sends us an email and a text message and lets us know that that vehicle is ready. And that afternoon or that morning, it comes into our shop and we go to town on it, full-fledged maintenance.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that story. That's really great. Let's talk about the efficiencies of our crews. Let's talk about the relation to other job sites, whether it's response times or productivity. You know, Nolan, you're running quite a few crews out there. Tell us a little bit about how you use GPS Insight to send your crews to job sites or to manage the various crews as they go out.
So for this one right here of crew locations, it has helped us if we have a crew out and they are on a large job, especially this time of the year with the leaves falling, and they are not close to finishing. We can dial in, see which crew is closest to them, call that crew. We can even talk to them through the GPS website, send them a text or call them and let them know where the next location is. And then while being at the computer, help guide them exactly to the location of the other crew, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does make sense. So it sounds like you're able to use the software then to create a little bit of a dispatch instruction. You send it to your
Absolutely.
guys, they receive it, and they know exactly where to go.
Exactly where to go.
Oh, that's terrific. That's absolutely perfect. This is one of my favorites. It's probably one of everybody's favorites. We all like to reduce the costs because it's simple. If we can reduce costs, it equates to more profit or the ability to grow. There's that opportunity or the ability to advance. So, Nolan, talk to me. Talk to all of us. How have we helped you reduce costs? Really, some examples maybe?
Where do you want me to start?
That's right. I know. I love that. Pick a couple good ones.
I mean, just back to the maintenance a few slides ago. Well, we're saving $200, $225 every time a vehicle goes in. You know, all of our vehicles are diesel, so every time one goes in, just bringing that in-house is saved $225. I mean, we just finished one right now that came up this morning, due and ready for maintenance. So, and that's included with our overhead and expense here. We're still saving that much money. And so furthermore, I mean, do you want to talk about vehicle recovery or adding to our schedule?
Well, let's talk about adding to your schedule. I'd like to hear how you're able to improve the efficiency of your crews, of your business.
Okay, well, I went through y'all's questions last night and this morning, and I actually put a spreadsheet together at about 4 a.m., and I have some real numbers. We actually have doubled our maintenance since we started with the tracking, and we've increased our profits 22% on the maintenance side alone, which is unheard of in this industry.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you for doing that, for putting math to the equation. Okay.
When we went back, I saw that somebody had answered yes. I was in the same shoes. I thought, oh, I'm running this business. I got a grip on it. I've got this under my belt. We got this going. And so I would have answered yes to that too. But now seeing it and believing it and knowing it, and I'm still learning this website almost every day. We have 5 people in the office that use this website from the app to actually logging in at a desktop every day. And that was me. I believe that we had everything. So where we had guys going out and doing 2 multifamily projects a day, we're now doing what I call 2.5. We tied in another property, another location, or we grouped 2 together that were bigger and closer together with the tracking.
Wow, that's fantastic. You told me something that I hadn't really thought of, the ability to combine the jobs like that and to be able to be more efficient with the crews. I think I've just learned something new today myself. Thank you. Those are great stories. That really illustrates the cost-saving measures you're able to implement, and it shows that we know only as much as we know. We have to be willing to learn something new. So next in our presentation is the criteria. Really, what do you look for in a GPS provider? What are the items, what are the criteria, to use that word, that are going to help you make a decision? Because your decision is important. This is your business. This is more than that, it's how you put food on the table. So you're looking at this system, but you need a partner who's going to assist you, who's going to be there from start to finish. You need a partner that will ultimately help you find a solution, that will ultimately help you solve business challenges. So, how quick, how easy is your solution to implement? How fast are you going to be deploying the devices in the vehicle? For small business, time really is money, okay? So it is ideal to select a GPS tracking service that's not going to take the vehicles out of operation. You need a service that can help you install, whether it's over the weekend or the evening, so that those vehicles can get back to work as quickly as possible. Really, ultimately, you do want to make sure there is as little disruption in your day-to-day operations as possible, because the money is made by going out to service the jobs, not holding the vehicles in. Easy to use. Is the solution easy to use? Is the software user-friendly? Easy to learn? How about the employees? There are going to be other people using the software. They're going to need to be trained. All these things come into consideration when making your decision. So if your provider offers training portals and certifications that can be monitored by management, well, that's ideal. Moreover, is that training free? Have you already paid for it? Do you have access to live people? Should a video or a controlled program is not quite enough, and you do need to discuss your issues with a live person. So for smaller businesses, it's ideal, truly, to select a GPS tracking platform that's intuitive, that's easy to learn, that can operate rapidly and assist you with those cost-saving measures or efficiency measures that you're looking for. Does the solution that you're looking at supply actionable information? Simply put, are you going to be able to do something with this information? It makes no sense to have all this great information and not make change. So this may be the most important part of the criteria decision. Is there actionable info? If it does not supply information that you can use, you're not going to see a return on investment. So you want to be able to change your driver's habits and have those habits stick. You also want to maintain the productivity changes and the efficiency changes that you have. So it will become this valuable tool in your business. And this GPS tracking system is a tool. It's as important a tool as any in your arsenal, as any lawnmower, as any trailer, as any vehicle. So you're going to take the time to research your lawn equipment. You should take the same exact time to research your GPS tracking company. And we're in business to earn a living, to help our employees put food on their table as well as us. We're doing it to support our families for our growth. So this last part of the criteria should be about cost effectiveness. As a small business, we're very sensitive to budget. Very sensitive. Overhead costs are dangerous to growth. So the solution you choose has to really fit. You have to be able to make sense with the costs involved. So we're going to talk with Nolan a little bit more at Texas Turf Management because we've got some great stories that we're going to share. So Nolan told us initially that Texas Turf really needed a system here that could automatically track maintenance, as we discussed. And we talked a little bit about the manual record-keeping process. Nolan, did you have people doing this manually at first? Tell us how you were doing your maintenance tracking previously. We'll see if some other people can relate to that.
Manually, as in myself or my brother, literally checking the vehicles for the little sticker from the local lube shop, letting us know if it was due for the next oil change or air filter or whatever it needed maintenance-wise. And there was the only really way to do it. Or we would have a little board inside that we would write the miles and an approximate date on. So it wasn't very accurate record keeping. And that's only if you remember to even look. I mean, sometimes we'd be like, oh my goodness, we need to check that. We go over there and check it, and it was 2,000 miles over the oil change, which can cost you some money.
No doubt that's where that preventative maintenance comes into play. We have to be proactive in how we maintain our vehicles. If we wait too long for that check engine light, if we handle the situation a month or two later, then the costs incurred to repair that car are substantially more than this preventative side. Since we're still talking about the criteria and how you select a GPS tracking provider, Nolan, tell us a little bit about the customer support you've received. Tell us about some experiences you've had with your account management, with GPS Insight here.
So, for our nursery was the one that referred GPS Insight, which is TreeSource. And we logged in, we got a video, we watched the video, we called, the sales guy was immediate on it, was sending everything we needed within minutes, and we set everything up, and we did what we called an undercover install, which was at nighttime. They handled everything for us with the dispatch, and everything went smoothly. And ever since then, if there's ever been an issue, which I believe has only been one time, we had dispatch out here within a matter of days, and that was my scheduling, not on GPS Insight. I believe you guys probably would have been here in a matter of minutes.
Perfect. I think so also. I know that. So have you called in and spoken with anybody here?
Yes, numerous times.
Tell us about that. Tell us about the account management experience you have.
Everything's been extremely easy, from setting up auto payment to getting an invoice for our filing on a monthly basis, to having, when you guys updated the app, to helping with the new app and how to log in back into it and how to navigate through the new face of the website.
That's terrific. I love that. We do pride ourselves here at GPS Insight on our customer support, on our attention to our customer needs. And the cost-effective nature of the solution. So Nolan, you run this business with your brother and with your wife. It sounds like it's a small business. Tell us about the cost-effective nature of your solution.
Well, we're still learning daily of all the things this GPS tracking can do for us. We initially got into it just for the maintenance aspect of it, and then learned daily of the tracking, the scheduling, almost everything you can think of in a business that is serviced with guys, employees in company vehicles on the road, of how you can save money. So you'd almost have to ask me where, and I'd have to give you an answer on each line item, because it's saving us across the board, time and money.
Well, let's talk about a couple of those items. That's really efficient. That's really informative. Let's talk about fuel costs. Tell me a little bit about your fuel consumption before and after you started using GPS Insight.
Well, we've definitely saved money there. With the GPS Insight, you can actually input your exact vehicle year, everything on your vehicle, including the engine, what fuel type, which I believe now it actually puts it in for you, and your idle time. So we have implemented a, what do you guys call it, a reminder for the guys. It goes straight to their phone. If the vehicle is, they're eating lunch, they've pulled into a property, the vehicle's idling for over 15 minutes is what I've put in. It will send them a message and myself a message, and all 5 of us that are using it from the office side, that that guy is parked and he's been idling for 15 minutes. And it kindly tells him to please shut the vehicle down. If there's an issue, to call us back. And it also lets us know, and most of the time we're logging in, looking, what is this guy doing? Is he just eating lunch, or are they parked somewhere? Was there a wreck and the vehicle's idling on the side of the road? So that part has helped with more than just the fuel. I'll kind of got off track there, but that savings of fuels. Our guys before, we didn't know this, but like I said, we put it in covertly at nighttime. So they were idling at lunch. We allow an hour for lunch down here. They would idle the vehicles for the entire hour of lunch, which we did not know. We had no clue. That's one of the things I just, took for granted. They're parking their truck, having their lunch in the shade at a picnic table, but they were having it in the vehicle, idling the entire time.
That's a great story. We trust our guys. We trust our employees when we hire them. We're not hiring them for any other reason. And sometimes we can all take advantage of a situation, and that's important to remember, that we'll just send little reminders, very courteous reminders. We're not going to report you to the boss. Just here's a friendly reminder. We see that you've been idling a little too long. Turn off your motor. Have a great day. I love that, Nolan. Thank you. Selecting the right solution. Whether you're selecting a house, whether you're selecting a car, whether you're selecting lawn care equipment, like I said before, you're going to do the research to make an informed, educated decision. You want to do this once. You want to do it correctly. And very simply put, as the slide says, not all GPS tracking providers are created equal. So price alone should never be the only reason you select a provider. Just like price is usually never the only reason you select your lawn care equipment. So while value is a big differentiator between providers, it shouldn't be the only thing you consider. It's important to understand the key differences between providers and some of the things that you're looking for. Since as a small business, you're about growth, your provider is a partner. You want your partner to be able to grow with you, to be able to expand as you expand, to meet your changing needs, your changing challenges. So can your provider adapt to the modern needs as they come about? Does it have the capabilities and the functionalities that you're looking for? And some of the solutions out there may meet your needs in today's world. But with a little bit more research, it's important to determine if they'll grow with you, if they'll have the future implementations that you're going to need. One of the future implementations is integration. As we move towards these integrations, we're looking at the combination of different tools to do a better job. We're going to combine different software technologies as the future goes on, whether it's dispatch providers, whether it's maintenance module providers. So your GPS tracking solution has to be able to move with you. Do they have the ability to provide the APIs, that technology where you're going to be able to push or pull your specific GPS information into somebody else's software? Are the companies going to get along? Are they even going to talk to each other? If you're looking at this solution at GPS tracking and you're researching, does your provider offer account management? Does it offer technical support? And there are many, many GPS tracking providers out there, and they are popping up every day. But such a big differentiator to look for is that customer support, that account management. One of the biggest differentiators you'll find out there is there are solutions, such as GPS Insight, that have dedicated account management, like you can see here. And by the way, this picture right up front, that is Lance. Lance is Nolan's account manager. Nolan has called Lance on repeated occasions. Lance has called Nolan back with information, with assistance. Even once a quarter, we look at Nolan's account to make sure he's utilizing the software to really get the most out of it, to really gain the most possible benefits. And not just that account management, but on the technical support side, are they open when you need them? Are they local? Are they experienced to handle your situation? And GPS Insight, perfect example. We are dedicated to 365 days a year of 24/7 support. Me personally, I've helped a friend of mine install devices in his vehicles. I was out in California, but we ran into a snag. Things happen. I got on the phone. I called into technical support at 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning. They answered, walked us through connecting the wires. We activated the system, and we were up and running. It's beautiful. Does the solution actually work for you? Does the solution actually solve some of your business challenges? Perfect example. One of our customers had a random call come in where a person said that they witnessed one of their vehicles at Twin Peaks Brewery, sitting out front, parked during the day. And with no visibility into the vehicle, this company had no ability to add additional jobs to the day. Because here's one of their crews sitting at the bar instead of coming right back to home base, maybe adding that additional job. So really the solution has to solve your challenges. It's got to meet your needs. So choose the best business partner. Choose a partner that's going to be with you, that's going to help you implement the system, that's going to train you, a provider, a partner that will help you grow in the future and adapt to your needs. So Nolan's got some unique experiences with his GPS tracking software. And we're going to share those stories because I really think they're fun, they're helpful, and they're very, very important. They illustrate savings, they illustrate productivity. But first, Nolan, before you even chose GPS Insight to partner with you there at Texas Turf Management, tell us why you moved in the direction of GPS Insight. Tell us maybe why you chose GPS Insight to help you with your solution.
Mainly because TreeSource had referred. We had been looking at different options for about 6 or 7 months, and I was not interested in any of them. It just seemed like they were too basic, too simple. Hardly any of them, especially at that time, had the maintenance tracking, which was, the main reason we were looking at that time. So, and I trust the owner of TreeSource, and he let me log in and even had the app on my phone for a little bit, just watching his vehicles go around, which I kind of still wish we could do. It would help us land plants on our jobs a little faster. But past that, once I got to watch from his login and I got to see the quick video, I knew immediately this is where I needed to go.
That's terrific. Success stories. We love success stories. These are real. This has happened. Maybe these are things that our viewers will find when they do their GPS tracking solution, when they do their implementation. So Nolan, unnecessary costs. You were telling us before, but you said you would choose yes. You know your costs. You know how your fleet is being used. There's no need. What did you find when you put the system in? What are some go ahead. I'm sorry.
This slide here was a great one. We just assumed and had even budgeted a line item of Easy Tag toll roads here in Houston. And we just assumed that that's where it was. This is our average. You know, if we go over, why did we go over? If we went under, why did we go under? We had never actually put it into reality that our guys would leave our shop, and no matter where they had to go, they just went and got on the Beltway. And they'd take this tollway and go around and exit and then come back. It was just, it's almost like that's all they knew of how to get to a job, was to get, even if it was backwards, to get on the tollway to get to this job on the, you know, right around the corner. So once we started watching that, I mean, that was in our first week when we were still undercover. We did undercover for 2 weeks, just watching the trucks drive around. And I can remember us sitting around watching this every single morning and every afternoon going, what in the world? Where are these guys going? Why are they going this way? So once we got to reroute their daily routes at that time, which led into saving time, saving fuel, saving everything else, we saved $900, which has actually gone up since then, since we sent you this information, per month, just on our Easy Tag. Every single month, $900.
And that's just one specific item.
Just one item.
So every now and again, you might get a customer call you with a claim that needs verification. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, we've had some from, we had a insurance company call and say that our guys did a hit and run at an exit with an exact time and day. Lawyers were involved on their side and everything. And once they gave me the time and location, the license plate number, the description of the vehicle, I was on the phone with the lawyer of the accusing party. And I simply was on the phone, logged into GPS, clicked that truck, put that time and day in the history, and brought the truck up. And it was 31 miles away on the other side of town. It had never even been on that side of town, not that day, not that entire week. And I sent a report right there to that lawyer on the phone. He opened it and said he got it. And they called back and emailed that the claim was dropped and everything was done. So that's one instance. Another one would be, we may get a property manager that calls and says our guys never came that week. And I'll log in, see it, and send them the link from that vehicle that services that property, the exact day, the time, and how long our guys were on the property. And then somehow they always remember, oh, yeah, they were here that day. That's right.
Perfect. And it helps to remind people of how long they're on the job. It provides us as business owners that security to know we can trust our guys, and we've got our guys' backs. If somebody makes a claim, we're going to do the research, and we have our employees' backs. This is safety and security as well as location-based. This is my personal favorite story. I do like this. I have told this story numerous times. I'm not going to tell it today. Nolan, I'm going to let you tell it because it is yours. Please share this story.
Okay. The shortest version of this was we got a call at 9:21 a.m. on, I believe it was December 22nd. This was very recent. That our driver called from his cell phone and said, the truck is gone, the guys stole it. We were at the office. One of the other guys got a call from the same driver. He's running in the office. I'm coming out of the office to get him. We come back in. We log in on the actual desk, go to that truck, and we are watching that truck drive off. And we call HPD, Houston Police Department here, and which, of course, I'm sure everyone listening has dealt with this before at one time. We weren't getting anywhere with them, so we decided to hop in the truck, not to go try to recover or hurt somebody or get in a fight, just to see where this truck was going, because they always just stash them and steal everything out of them. And over 6.2 miles and a very interesting long story of a day, in about 4 hours, we recovered our truck in one location, our trailer where we saw the GPS had turned around in the cul-de-sac and backed the truck down this bayou, found the trailer there. And we actually, I see you have on here 1 mower and 4 blowers. We recovered 4 blowers, a hedge trimmer, the truck, the trailer, and 1 of the John Deere mowers, which was brand new. The only thing we lost was 1 John Deere mower, which we could see where they had backed it out and got stuck in the mud and drove it all around. And that all was recovered just to the history, watching the history, and this was from the app. Once we got into our vehicles and were driving, this was all being done from the app, watching the truck drive, park, move, turn around, go down 3 blocks and turn and park over there, and then recovered, just recovering everything. It was quite fun. Even the Houston Police Department here was blown away with how accurate the website was on the history.
That's fantastic. I've heard of a number of cases like that. Theft recovery. That's fantastic. And that right there is an obvious savings. It's not just the tools. It's not just not having to deal with the insurance. You don't have to go and repurchase and spend the time researching. That's fantastic. So, to summarize, before we go to our question and answer, it's important to identify opportunity where you can improve your business. It's important to realize you don't necessarily know everything about your business. It's okay to be open-minded and do a little bit more research. The next thing to do, it's important to build criteria. Those are the things that are going to help you determine your partner. Is that partner going to help you? The easy-to-install solution. The assistance with utilizing the software. So it is important to select the right provider. And hopefully with this, you'll begin to realize there are many, many benefits for the technology. There are many, many ways to grow your business. And so I'm honored and I'm thrilled to be here. I feel like I have found something fantastic, and I'm really excited to share it. I feel like I have a bit of a secret, a bit of some insight, really. And everybody listening, I'm pleased to share it with you. And so I would like to hand it back to Marissa at this point and let Marissa kind of guide us through our question and answer period. So Marissa, take it away.
Great. Thank you, Evan, and thank you, Nolan, for all the great information. We had a number of questions submitted beforehand when all of the registrants registered. And then we also have a couple coming through live, and just wanted to welcome you to type in your question into the Q&A box if you're out there listening. Okay, so to get started, we already covered a lot of this information, but here's a good one I think that you maybe just touched on, Nolan, and Evan, you can address it as well. But first, Nolan, how do I implement a GPS solution without my crew thinking I don't trust them?
I think that's easily answered the first time that they call and ask, where is the next property, or where is this new property that was on our list, or anytime they need help with getting a route, or they need help with another crew coming. They actually start learning to trust the system, and they're asking the 5 of us for information throughout the day, or randomly throughout the week.
That's fantastic, and it may offer a little bit more growth to that employee. As an owner, maybe if you're able to add jobs, then you're able to offer increases in growth, in raises to the employee as a benefit. If you're able to add more, I can add to you as well. So it is important to let them know that the system is for their safety, for their security, and for their productivity. It's assistance to the team.
So, Evan, do you recommend upon implementation that you sit down with your team and have a meeting and kind of present it to them, or you just mention it?
That's such an interesting question. It works both ways, and that becomes personal preference. It is nice to gain insight into your fleet habits before you tell them. And then when you do tell them, it's not a matter of saying, oh, we've had this in there for a week. You might say, we're putting this in, and this is for your benefit. And look, you might receive some notifications. Maybe it's a speeding alert where you're going to send a notification, but know that it's not coming from the boss. It's an automated alert. Hey, we've noticed that you're driving a little bit fast. We want to remind you to slow down and, hey, take care. So there are ways to implement the solution and make it an absolute benefit to the employees, because it truly is.
Okay, great. We have a couple of questions about like fleet size and ROI. So, Evan, how large of a fleet should you have before you'll show a significant return on investment?
Significant return on investment starts with one vehicle. If you have one vehicle that you're able to reduce costs on, you'll have more money to spend on business growth. It might be in the form of reduced insurance premiums because you're in partnership with a certified GPS tracking platform such as GPS Insight. So that return on investment is all but immediate. And then the growth from there is fantastic. So you're able to study the lengths of times that you're on the job, and you're able to begin to predict your scheduling habits. And even for that one truck, maybe now you're able to add an additional job. Maybe it's one job per day. Maybe it's 4 to 5 jobs per week. So really all these things, including idling and including speed reductions, and along with that prediction of job length of time, ROI starts with one vehicle. It's important to get started. It's not if we should run this technology, it is when, so that we can improve our business, our bottom line.
Okay, great. Here's a question for you, Nolan. What would a fleet owner say is the most valued service of a GPS system? You've kind of talked about all the benefits, but can you pick one thing that you value the most?
For me, I love preventative maintenance. So the maintenance tracking, by far, is awesome. I love it.
Is that usually what you hear, Evan, from other customers? Or does it just depend?
Definitely. One of the main items that we hear is that preventative maintenance. Being able to log your service and the costs associated with that service, reduce emergency maintenance, improve the way you manage your fleet, and maintain your fleet through your oil changes or your various service aspects. So one of the very valued aspects of it, it's hard to find just one, like Nolan said before, because there are so many.
So many. I mean, the bottom line is it's saving time and money. I mean, even with my favorite thing being the maintenance part of it, it's still time and money as an owner.
Okay, great. Evan, here's another one for you. How frequently do most people use the system once it's implemented? Do they often start using them and then kind of slip and resort to old habits?
Well, that's a bit of a staged question, so I'm going to answer that in two parts. That first part, how frequently do the people use the system once implemented? On a daily basis, on an absolute daily basis, if not sooner. We begin to automate such things as alerts so that you're able to provide better customer service through the alerting. You're able to provide a cost control system from the business owner standpoint. So you're going to use it every day regularly. In fact, we have customers, and we love this. They'll put up an additional monitor on the wall and just have the live map up so that they can see at a glance where everybody is. And then on their individual terminals, they'll run their operations, whether that's dispatch or maintenance. So every day, regularly, if not every hour or sooner. Then the question, do they resort to old habits? That answer is a resounding no. Everybody realizes the benefits once they have access to them. The drivers appreciate the safety, and they appreciate knowing that their employer has their back. They can drive around town, and they know if a random call comes in that their employer is going to verify for them if they were at that site and dispute a claim such as Nolan provided for us. So to answer the question on do they resort to old habits, no, they grow to love the system because it offers them security and safety, and it offers them growth. They have the ability to earn more as they utilize the system.
Okay, great. Nolan, do you have anything to add to that from your experience?
Well, actually this morning, for some reason, 3 of our guys left their phones on the desk, so I thought this would be fun today. I logged out of the app on their phones and then just hit the main home button with their Apple phones over here. And all 3 of them, by 9 o'clock this morning, were texting me, hey, what's the login again for the GPS? Because they're using it every day. They're out driving around. They're walking properties. These are sales guys, and then my brother, owner, wife. And they're logging in to see, well, what's crews over here? While I'm in this area, can I go check on them and check and walk that property? So we literally use it from in the morning to during the day to when they come home in the afternoon to make sure that every truck landed back at our shop, and then log into the cameras if we're in town, out of town, and know exactly where everybody's at.
Okay, great. We got a live question, Nolan, which you already gave a chat response to, but we'll just say it for the benefit of the group. So the person asking the question said, for your problems with your crews with improper routes and taking the unnecessary toll road, couldn't any smartphone, tablet, or GPS device have solved that problem?
I mean, sure, for that one line item, but there's too many aspects of GPS Insight to just key in on that one little saving. So that would be a whole debate of comparing, I'm sure.
Okay, great. Well, with that, we are going to wrap it up. And so thank you, Evan, and thank you, Nolan, both for being here. We really appreciate the presentation today and all the great information. And I'm going to turn it back over to Kelly to close it out. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks, Marisa. Thank you for attending today's webinar. A recording of this webinar will be emailed to you tomorrow afternoon and will be available online at landscapemanagement.net/webinars. Included in this email will be a 4-question survey where you can share your input about this presentation and find out how you can learn more about GPS Insight. If you would like to download today's slides, click the green folder icon on the left side of the dock at the bottom of your screen. Thank you and have a great day.